the Dolphins choke. They choke so hard against the Titans. The Titans, who were kind of handing the game to the Dolphins. Like, let's not get this twisted. Once Tua went down, that vaunted Dolphins offense that gets a lot of praise. McDaniels gets a lot of praise. Tua had been getting MVP consideration just because he has those nice numbers. The Dolphins were 9-3 going into this game. They're one of the highest scoring offenses in the league. Pretty plays. They just beat up on the Commanders. Tyreek going for 2K yards. He can't do that by himself. He needs Tua. Waddle's a dog. Waddle's a good wide receiver. You got the rookie running back Ichani. You have Mostert, on the wrong side of 30, but running hard and having a very good season as the Dolphins starting running back. There's a lot of things to like about the Dolphins offense, but once the real MVP of that offense, Tyreek Hill, went down with an ankle injury on a little bubble screen or a little screen, it was bad for the Dolphins. It was bad. Even sometimes they even struggle a little bit with him in there, but without him playing, sometimes they struggle playing better teams, even with Tyreek. But usually when they play lesser teams like the Titans, they're able to expose them. They're able to, impose themselves. They're able to dictate how they want to play. And they're able to utilize Tyreek in many different ways, get him all these yards rushing, mostly through the air, bubble screen, deep passes, all that, the whole 9 yards. But once he got hurt, he didn't play for like the first, second. I think he didn't come back till the third quarter. That Dolphins offense stagnate. We were looking at Tua to do something. We were looking at Tua to use his arm to, rally the team around him, to, take control. There's a lot of people on Twitter that were saying, this could be the Tua MVP moment, You get your probable 2K wide receiver going down. Offense is a little stagnant. Waddle's not 100%. Like, this is it. Put that team on your back, muscle up. Like Chris Broussard likes to say, muscle up and show them what's good. The Dolphins, who had struggled to beat teams with a positive record this year, this was even though the Titans are not a positive record team, but this was a hurdle that if they got through it on prime time Monday Night Football, if they got through this without Tyreek, it was gonna it wasn't gonna convince people, obviously, because it's the Titans and they're like 4-8 or 4-7 going into this, but it was gonna look good for Tua. MVP is wide open, or it was wide open. I think it's kind of narrowed down a few people in the last few weeks, but Tua could have definitely put himself right in the middle of that, warranted or not. The numbers are there, and if he comes through to get this dub against the Titans without Tyreek, he would have still been dangling around. Like when they were up 14 points with less than 4 minutes left, his name would have still been dangling around, that top 4, top 5 candidates. I think with them losing this game, with just the eye test and him not and getting the ball back, with a little bit of time to do something and not being able to pull through, I think we could easily take Tua's name out of it. Tua is not going to win MVP this year. If you put a futures bet on him, if you put some money on him, I'm sorry to tell you, you're not going to cash that out. You're not going to win. That's not a hitter. It's not going to hit. And if I'm the Dolphins, I don't know, man. I don't know. Obviously, when things are going good, Tua's a good quarterback. Tua's accurate. He could definitely throw the deep ball. He's good. He's a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback, okay? But the numbers that he's producing will lead you to believe that he's elite. And, he could only beat the teams in front of him, but he is struggling to beat the better teams against better teams with better pass rushes, with better defenses. He does look a little limited when he's dropping back to pass. Like even in that fourth quarter, in that, last drive that they had where he's getting sacked and stuff like that, a lot of times it feels like a bigger quarterback or a stronger quarterback or a quarterback with a bigger build could shrug off some of these sacks or would be sacks or like power through them and maybe extend the play. And with Tua, it just kind of seems that, that first arm that gets him a lot of times. I mean, he does evade a couple sacks, but for the most part, that first sack that gets to him, that first arm that kind of gets to him, that's it. It's a wrap. And Tua, I mean, he did not play good. I knew he had an injured center, he had backup center in there, and he had a fumble with goal to go in the first quarter, and that was big. Left points on the board. They had to settle for field goals in the red zone. Like I said, it was just not a very good game by that Dolphins offense. It was ugly. It was ugly, and they were gonna get away with it. And obviously, we can't ignore the defense just letting Will Levis chop him up at the end of the quarter, at the end of the fourth quarter. Go down and just chop him up, chop cheese, go down, right through them, literally, like boom, boom, boom. Touchdown to Hopkins, 2-point conversion. Offense doesn't do anything, doesn't really even take time off the clock. And then boom, 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 they go down the field. And next thing you know, Derrick Henry scoring the game-winning touchdown. Dolphins are frauds, man. I hate to say it, but Dolphins are frauds, man. And, they kind of got exposed versus the Bills early in the season. They haven't really beaten anybody, and now they're up against the Cowboys, who are red hot and are looking like the second best team in the NFC. Dude, it could be ugly for the Dolphins, especially once the adrenaline wears off and once the swelling on that ankle starts to set in. We don't know if Tyreek is going to play next week. If the Dolphins are without Tyreek and they're playing the red hot Cowboys, it could be ugly. It could be ugly for the Dolphins. It could be bad for them. And they still got to play the Bills one more time. They lose to the Cowboys and then they lose to the Bills, and the Dolphins are a wild card team, which is crazy to think about because, a lot of teams thought the Bills were dead and they just beat the Chiefs. We'll talk about that. But the Dolphins gotta be careful, man. They gotta be careful because Tyreek on a hurt ankle just kind of got exposed by the Titans. That defense is not looking solid. Even with Ramsey, that defense is not looking solid. And now you got the Cowboys and the Bills are still on the schedule. I don't know, man. I don't know. And it's kind of starting to feel like last season where they were hot. They were hot. They lost a few games at the end of the year, and then they kind of, faded away. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I hope Tyreek is good. I hope Tyreek is healthy. I hope he's still able to finish the season on a tear. I really wanted to see him hit 2K. Like, I really, really wanted him to hit 2K. That would have been so sick for a wide receiver to hit 2K. But I think today's game, if anything, proves that, the Dolphins, their defense can be had. Their defense can be had. And their offense, as great as it is for all the gaudy numbers that it has, it could be stopped, especially with the hobble Tyreek. And Dolphins need to really think about how much they're going to pay Tua this offseason because good quarterback. No one can deny that. Good quarterback. He could have great moments. He could have great stretches of games. But is he an elite, top-end quarterback? I don't know. And hey, don't hate me for just having my opinion. It's my opinion. I just think he's a good quarterback. He could have great stretches of games. But is he a great quarterback? Is he an elite quarterback? It's still left to be said. He's very young. He's obviously still improving. And he has the right coach. McDaniel's offensive-minded. He knows how to draw up plays. If anyone could get the best out of Tua, it'll probably be McDaniel. So, but like I said, if I see games like this where we should win or we just need a couple first downs to, seal the deal, let's get out of here with the dub. Let's keep our advantage in the AFC East. Let's keep our hope for the first seed in the AFC. You got to think big picture. If Tyreek is getting hurt, he has a bum ankle, who's to say someone else doesn't get hurt? We saw Howard go down. They're already down to center. Achani has been hurt the season. Like, you want to get that first round bye to get everyone healthy for this playoff run. You need to be thinking about that. So if you're up 14 and all you need is a couple first downs to get out of there, finish the game off, like your quarterback is supposed to be able to get that. And then you're down, you're only up 6. The other team just went down the field, scored a touchdown, scored a 2-point conversion. you know that if they get the ball back and they score, they're gonna win. You need to be able to find that first down, and the Dolphins couldn't do it. And they ran the ball. And I think they tried to throw for it on third down, and they couldn't do it. Coaches will tell you how they feel about their quarterback too. Obviously, every coach is gonna say that they love their quarterback. My quarterback's amazing. I fully trust my quarterback. But they always tell you how they really feel about their quarterback. You see it with, Daniel Jones sometimes. You kind of see it a little bit with Tua when you have a third and long, and you really need it. And if you really have an elite quarterback, if you have Mahomes, if you have Allen, you have Burrow, for the most part, you're going to put the ball in their hands. You're going to let them, be elite. You're going to let them be great. You're going to let them be, the talent that they are. You have no second thoughts. You know that the ball is safe in their hands, and you're going to let them try to throw for the first down. If you don't have one of those top guys, and you know it, no matter how many positive things you say about him, you're gonna run the ball. You're gonna run the ball. You're gonna do a delayed run, a draw. You're gonna do a draw. You're gonna do a little bubble screen. You might even do like some wildcat. You might, some of that stuff. But if you have a real elite quarterback, you're gonna put it in his hands. You're gonna be like, go get me that first down. Let's go 4 out. 4 wide receivers out, spread the field out, go get this first down. Let's get out of here. Let's wrap this game up. Sometimes I don't see that with Tua and McDaniels. So we'll take that with a grain of salt. But, Dolphins are definitely on fraud alert. They prove it again on Monday Night Football. Good win by the Titans. Good win by Will Levis. Like, he looks like he's a dog. He has that charisma. He has that natural leadership. He has that energy to him. I like Will Levis. And he drove them down the field. Titans smart to dump Tannehill. He was a good bridge quarterback. He had some good years for them, but it was time to move on. Will Levis looks like he could potentially be the future, and I know Hopkins is very, very happy because it's night and day his production with Levis and with Tannehill. But overall, both Monday Night Footballs were game. Both Monday Night Football games were very entertaining, and I was kind of surprised, not going to lie. Shout out to the Titans. Dolphins, they better be ready for the Cowboys because they could really get exposed.